And roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight. So we get you ready for high school football between Bernie and Alamo Heights coming up at the bottom of the hour. But until then, we'll get you caught up on everything going on, including with the Dallas Cowboys, as they got a big win, 20-15 last night over the New York Giants. Run defense looked markedly better, although was it the Giants or not? The Morning Huddle, A.J. Hoffman talking about it this morning and trying to decipher whether what we saw was improvement or was it just competition.
Ask Coach McCarthy how he's feeling after the win against the Giants.
Absolutely. I mean, winning's always a great thing, especially on the road. Road wins are the best division games. You're going to add another layer to it. So, yeah, we feel great about what we accomplished tonight, but I think it's, for the fourth week in a row, we realize that we have a lot of work to do.
That's a more realistic approach, and that's the way it should be. A win's always a win, and especially in this game, McCarthy should feel really good because Rob and I talked about this yesterday. I felt then, I certainly feel now, whoever lost that game, the head coach that lost that football game was going to feel a real warm seat underneath him. And I think Brian Daboll is feeling that warm seat right now. Mm-hmm. And Mike McCarthy's probably got a little bit of relief and feels like, okay, new life. Because 2-2 is not a disastrous place to be after week 4. So Mike McCarthy's got to be happy with that win. They asked him what was different with the chemistry between Dak and CD this week, where obviously, as it was much talked about in the media, there was some issues last week.
Yeah, I mean, I was shooting for 80 tonight. As much as as well as I've been seeing it. Obviously, the first 3 games, the percentage hasn't showed that.
I was going to get mad at Edwin. I pushed the wrong button.
Oh,
that's on me.
Okay. I just think really as a whole, just the whole team. I mean, that's really the first 4-quarter game we've played. I mean, it was a complimentary football game. I wish we'd have been able to drive the ball more offensively. I just felt like we left our defense out there a bit much. That dead long swing right before the half, and then they came right back here in that first drive in the third quarter. So I thought that was very challenging for our defense and for them to continue to fight. But I think the biggest thing was we were able to frankly I feel like it's the first game I called for 4 quarters.
So he's saying that he's been calling bad plays till now.
Yeah,
but these were good play calls. Was this the good Cowboys offense?
No, if it was a good Cowboy offense, it would have scored more.
Why am I like this? Why am I so negative? Why can't I just why can't I let Cowboy fan feel good about a win? Why can't I let them have nice
Because
games?
our running backs don't have 200-yard games.
Well, I mean, also,
think about it.
Also, they score.
They score, but I don't know.
They didn't score. The offense stunk. I don't know. I like if you're hyped up after a 20-15 win over the Giants, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But they did ask him about the importance of getting off to a fast start offensively, which the Cowboys have really struggled to do. And we talked about how important it was for them to play with a lead, because if the Giants fell behind, the thought was you're going to be able to make Daniel Jones throw. And when Daniel Jones throws the football,
things happen.
You start to see that Daniel Jones sucks at football. And, I think everybody thought it was important for them to get off to a fast start. Here's what Coach McCarthy said.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way we want to play, and that's the way, I think it's just like anything. I mean, you only have so much time during the week, and we put time invested in, fast starts and finishing strong here with a 4-minute, offensive series there. So, we make that field goal there, and we would have topped the game off the way you'd like to. So, but I think it's just another credit to the defense to go back out there and get that stop.
Yeah, I do give them some credit in that, even though it wasn't peak Cowboys, it wasn't like it wasn't what last year we would have considered a good game. They also did a good job of never letting the Giants take control of this game. And I don't think the Giants ever had no, I guess they had a 3-0 lead. That was it. That was it. But after that 3-0 lead, they never led again. And you can make arguments over missed calls or whatnot, but this Cowboys team, it does feel like when they've gotten behind so far this year, it's tended to spiral out of control real quick. And the fact that they weren't, I mean, had the Giants gone down and scored a touchdown on the first drive, I think
the momentum would have been.
I think panic would have set in.
Yeah.
And they're really lucky they got that face mask penalty like that, because it could have been a bad start, and then it could have unraveled from there. But I think that it was so important for them to start out good. And he was talking about offense. I think defensively it was important for them to start out right, because when they fall behind, it just seems like they get into a shell. They're still way too conservative for me, way too conservative. But I guess that's I don't know what you've got, one big play guy, so I guess that's the way it's got to be.
And it is. Unfortunately, there were also some tough losses in that game, not on the scoreboard, but on the rosters. Both of your starting defensive ends go down, and Tank Lawrence and Micah Parsons. What will the Cowboys do about it? How bad are the injuries? Well, the Blitz earlier today talked with John Machota about just that. We'll find out the latest from him coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We have our first text. I didn't make this up. I just said, thank you guys. Love the show. JD's my fave. He's sexy. I swear that's our first text. I swear I didn't make it up.
You are sexy.
Did it come from you, Gigi?
Somebody sees you.
Oh, you're sweet.
For who you really are. A good-looking gay man.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Football season is here, and I-10 Ice House has your favorite matchup on massive 10-foot screens and daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. They say I transformed the quarterback position. The fastest ever, the strongest arm, the most rushing yards. They call me a game changer. I say BetUS.com changed the sports betting game. It started 30 years ago with the industry's biggest bonuses, and they haven't stopped. This football season, get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Join me at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, BetUS, where the game begins.
The clock is ticking. Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is almost over. Until September 30th, you can get 5 years of 0% financing on any purchase. It's the perfect chance for worry-free shopping with no interest and monthly payments customized for you. And now open Sunday, September 29th. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity. From luxury timepieces to engagement rings and more. Don't wait. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only until September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. Call now. 800-575-8924. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Football season is here. Look no further than the I-10 Ice House, your neighborhood sports headquarters with over a decade of excellence. Catch every college or NFL game plus must-see pay-per-view events on massive 10-foot screens. And don't forget, I-10 Ice House has daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House, located at 9518 Console Drive, proudly serving our community for over 10 years. I-10 Ice House.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat? I don't know. Why? Peer pressure. Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat. Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Of course, we got high school football coming up right after this. Bottom of the hour, we get you started with the pregame between Alamo Heights and Bernie. San Antonio Sports Star football, high school football game of the week, energized by Hill Electric, Frostbank, and NCE General Contractors coming up next. But we told you about how the game looked. Well, part of how it looked was you saw your two best defensive players leave the game. Earlier today on the Blitz, John Machota joined Jason and Joe to discuss the severity of the injuries to both Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and what's next for the Dallas Cowboys and how long they could potentially be out.
The latest that we're hearing for Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, it doesn't look great in terms of them being available next week. Obviously better results, and it sounds like it's better than what could have been. I think when Micah got carted off, I'm sure everybody had a little bit of a thought of, could this potentially be season ending? And it's not that, but for Micah, high ankle sprain. DeMarcus Lawrence, it's a foot sprain, and both Stephen Jones and Mike McCarthy have said that the Lawrence one is looks like it's a little bit longer term, not longer term, but longer than Micah's. And so the way I'm reading in between the lines here, Mike McCarthy says that they're getting second opinions is I would bet that they don't play these next 2 games. They give them those 2 weeks and the bye week, and then they bring them both back against San Francisco. I think that's.
I think we lost John Machota there.
You got me?
Yeah, we got you. You cut off there for a minute. As soon as you said San Francisco, your phone went dead.
Yeah, I think that would be the logical, like, kind of target where they would possibly return for. I don't think that they're going to want to rush them back on these injuries that could set them back further. And so not great news because after the game, the way DeMarcus and Micah were talking was like they thought that they could potentially play, this upcoming week in Pittsburgh. And even Mike McCarthy said on this conference call today that, the results they got back today were worse than what they were anticipating. So I don't think that these are going to be like 6-8 week injuries, but it sounds like a few weeks.
Well, John, so what happens now? Who steps in for those 2 guys? Because I'm trying to look at the depth chart. I guess Marshawn Nealon is one, and is it Golston, the other guy? Are they expected to step in for those 2 guys?
Yeah, those 2, and then Carl Lawson, who's been playing a little bit the last couple of weeks. I think he's going to have to get more opportunities as well. So yeah, those, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they add somebody. But it's not going to, I don't see them adding someone that is of note that, making a trade. To be honest with you, if they were to make a trade for a player, it would make me think that the injury, what they're hearing on it might even be worse. It just doesn't seem like that's a move that they would make, especially if it is hey, let's do the next 2 weeks without them, got the bye week, come back against San Francisco. But if they make a notable move and trade like a 5th or 6th round pick for somebody, that makes me think that one of these guys is out for an extended period of time. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think that that's the plan as of right now, but I would say this morning, I didn't think the plan was that these guys would be missing multiple games either.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us here on The Blitz. Let's look at and talk about the game last night. Obviously, you get the win. It just wasn't as pretty as I think a lot of people thought. Defense gave up field goals, not touchdowns, 26 rushing yards on 24 attempts, yet it was the Giants. So should we give them more credit for vastly improved run defense, or do you go, well, it was the Giants?
I mean, there was multiple times last night when I was watching that game that I was saying, well, it is the Giants. And the reason I say that is because there were things that they did in that game where I was like, well, if they're playing a better team, they're losing right now. I'm not saying they're getting blown out by like the Ravens or Saints the way they did, but if they're playing a better team, there's a decent chance they could have lost that game. And so you have to factor the Giants in there. You have to factor in Brian Dable. You have to factor in Daniel Jones. I mean, you have to factor in that the Cowboys have owned them for several years now. And so it's obviously better than what the alternative would have been. And if they lost that game, how bad that would have looked and on top of with these injuries and everything. So it at least gets you to 2-2, kind of keeps you on track to maybe be a 9 or 10 win team if things bounce the right way for you. So it keeps you afloat. But no, there's nothing that happened in that game that made me think, oh yeah, no, this team's totally rebounded from the way they played the previous 2 weeks. I mean, the Dak and CD connection looked great early, but then it went away in the second half. And so there's plenty of areas for them to clean up. But I mean, yeah, if you're the Cowboys as the team, you're happy to get a win, go into this a little bit longer off week, not a true bye week. They call it a mini bye, but yeah, you're happy about it. But if for fans or analysts or reporters, whatever, I don't know how you watch that game and go, oh, no, they fixed everything. If everything was fixed, they would have blown the doors off that team and won by probably about 35.
I found it interesting, and we watched the game, Jason and I, the first half of it on a remote yesterday. But we're talking, and what stood out to me, John, and I think was glaring, were the missed tackles. So many times it extended Giants drives, and the time of possession that the Giants were able to. They almost doubled the Cowboys, I think, in time of possession. That's concerning.
It is concerning, especially some of those missed tackles by their starting safeties. It is concerning. The one thing I will say though is that when are they really doing that though? Other than when the game starts, those guys don't play in the preseason. They don't tackle onto the ground in OTAs, in minicamp, in any of the training camp practices. So there is a little part. The best example I can give you. I turned to Clarence Hill during, I don't know, I think it was the second quarter of the game. And I go, man, if they would have really tackled, like this was old school football in training camp, man, we would have been writing crazy, like positive things about Maris Leofau, because that dude lays the wood. And you're not seeing that in a training camp setting. You see the guy kind of thud him, kind of get up to him and hold. But like you see some of the stuff that Overshone and Leofau do, and you're like, well, yeah, unless they're playing in preseason games, you can't do that stuff in training camp or OTAs or mini camp unless you want to get fined and lose practices. So they do have to get better in that area. No question about it. But it is, I believe, a little bit of the product of how the game has changed as well in terms of the preparation during the week.
John Machado from The Athletic here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The Cowboys' run game was better offensively. Rico did have 11 carries, but your best running back, or your longest run, was 10 yards from a wide receiver named CeeDee Lamb. And a couple of times when it felt like they needed it, they put CeeDee back there. Is that Mike McCarthy telling Jerry Jones by play on the field, like, dude, we need a real running back?
That is a good, I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah, that could be him sending a message like that. I will say after CeeDee got that deal done, there was a lot of talk in the organization about, we're going to use him in a variety of ways and he's going to get the ball a lot, kind of justifying the contract. Not that it needed to be justified, but I'm used to him being in the running game on like some jet sweeps or maybe coming on a reverse, but like just straight up being like, no, you're going to be the tailback on this play. And he gets, 10 yards. It was, I don't know how often you can do that. And you certainly don't want to be running him in between the tackles. But, that's not a great sign. And they do need to get better at running back. I don't care what they say about, not enough attempts or, the young offensive line. All those are issues, no doubt. They all factor into it. But I don't think anybody looks at this team and goes, yeah, they got a 1,000-yard rusher. They got a 1,500-yard rusher or something like that,
That was Jean Machado joining them. To hear the full interview, go to the Audio Vault by AA Best Bail Bonds on our website at sasportstar.com. We have got the San Antonio Sports Star High School football game of the week coming up between the Alamo Heights Mules and Bernie Greyhounds. Jason Minix, John Robbins, and Nick Solis going to be on the call for you. It is energized by Hill Electric, Frostbank, and NCE General Contractors. It's been a great week, everybody. We'll see you on Monday at the golf tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1 FM.
Football season is here.